Yep. Oh boy. Check, check, check. Thanks for reminding me. I can call you as soon as I get off here. The conscious channel. Yeah, I will. Let me check this microphone. Is this microphone working properly? Thanks for reminding me. I can call you as soon as I get off here. All right, why this thing is low? The conscious channel. Yeah, oh, mama. This thing is low. Yeah, let me check this microphone. Yeah, so I think the microphone is working. Yeah, so I'm here to let you know that we are going live later on tonight. Early in the evening, 7 o'clock, something like that, 7:30, and we're gonna stay to um, our discussion. We're not gonna be weighing in on anything going on, you dig? Because we are not involved. So we're gonna continue to talk about what we talk about. We're not gonna get involved in anything else. We'll let them sort it out. You dig? They all peace. The brothers UK, they're all peace, peace. Angelina, she said happy to 420 chat. Yeah. So we're gonna continue to talk about what we talk about. You dig? We're gonna let everybody else talk about what they want to talk about. Um, I mean, because at the end of the day, like when grown adults have an argument, it's between them to settle. You dig? Nobody got hurt. Nobody went to jail. Nobody got sued. You dig? It's just an argument, and they will be able to work it out, or maybe not. But that's life. You dig? That's life. Like you could work out some of your issues, or some issues you can't work out, and life moves on. You dig? Truth Ministries, peace. So I'm not gonna tell you who's right, who's wrong. I'm not doing none of that. At least not on live. Because it's like looking out your window and you see your neighbors argue. Like you don't know sometimes you don't know what started the argument. All you know is what you're looking at. And it wouldn't be fair to say who's right or who's wrong by just what you're looking at that present moment. You don't know what built up to that. You don't know what was being said. You dig? So when you're arguing, yes, you're gonna say things that you don't mean. So you can't really hold people to foul statements in the heat of the moment, because you'll hear all type of stuff come out of mouths when we're hot. And then you're gonna say the matter of fact, I used to piss when I was younger. I used to piss my friends off just so I could hear what they always thought about me, or I would piss them off so they could piss me off, so I could tell them what I always thought about them. You did. So that was my excuse to say what I always wanted to say. Like, yeah, do you know your feet stink, dude? But they couldn't take it if you say it regularly. You did in a regular conversation, they couldn't take it. So I had to start up an argument so I could finally tell them. Like, dude, man, go wash your feet. Your feet stink every day, man. God damn. And then I'll feel better. Like, all right, because we'll be cool a week later, 2 weeks later. But guess what? Now he knows that I know his feet stink and he need to go wash those feet. You did. So, point being that when you're arguing, stuff can be said that you wouldn't probably normally ever say. Yeah, and you, man, the B word comes out if you're talking to a woman. If she's talking to you, the bum Negro word will come out. All types of stuff will come out. You dig? If you're different races, you're gonna say racial stuff, either racial stereotypes or racial slurs. That's what's gonna happen. That's natural. So you can't really. That's why when I hear black calling somebody else a racial slur or white calling somebody a racial slur, I look at the context because again, in the heat of the moment, you're going to say what you want to say just to get. It's like a chess move because you can't actually physically hit somebody. You want to say what you want to say that you believe is equivalent to a hit. So it's like a dirty tactic. You're going to say it. That's just well, most people will say it. Most people will say something that's probably like an inside joke that the public don't know, but and the public would think that oh man, that's some light stuff. But to that person receiving that inside joke, it was more personal. So you don't get it, but they get it. It's like listening to like battle rap. If you try to listen to battle rap nowadays, man, you'll be lost because there's so many inside, bars. Remember at McDonald's, you see what happened? You bought the cheeseburger when you was rapping. You'd be like, McDonald's cheeseburger, what the hell is that? And the crowd going crazy. Like, oh, then it turned out maybe you bought a cheeseburger and he got punched in the face. So yeah, that's why I don't get involved, man. Yeah, we let grown-ups handle grown-up situations. Now, if they were children, we would intervene and try to settle it for them, or young teenagers. We'll give some advice, but not grown adults. They can handle it. This is not their first argument. This is not their first fight. This is not their first, disagreement. Hostile disagreement. It happens. It happens. But what we're going to do is we are going to stay on course. We're in a crisis. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people that have agendas, and that's why they're spreading misinformation. We're going to tackle that later on today. And some people just don't know any better. They just copy. They just go into videos, copying, just sharing it. I am the administrator of the group on Facebook, Black Think Tank. I had to delete like 20 posts today because of so many like fake news things. Now I just deleted it. Now I could have been nasty and be like, yo, don't post this in here. I'm gonna block you. Nah, I just deleted it. I just deleted it. You dig? And if I see one person, like I caught some Israelites posting just all religious stuff in there, so I had to kick them out the group. Because one of the rules is we don't talk religion in here. And definitely we don't promote religion or bash it. So I caught some Israelites posting a whole bunch of Israelite stuff in there, banned them. Dig? But if I see some people in there who really believes like the fake news, so I deleted it a couple of times, and like the fifth time I let them know, like, listen, that's fake news. Like you got to be more responsible. You just can't click links and post it in here for some like fear mongering type stuff. Yeah, but minding our business, like we got to know how to do that, and we all want to. We're just like thirsty for like bad news. That's why a lot of you guys are unsuccessful because all you want is, if you're around unsuccess, you're going to be unsuccessful. If you're around success, you're going to be successful. So, true story went live today. He had a controversial subject, and everybody came there to hear the bad news. But once he kept it to his regular programming, what he normally talks about, you see people start falling off when they realize he wasn't going to touch on bad news. He went from 83 to like 42 quickly. Once they realized he wasn't going to talk about it, they start falling off. Yeah, that's all we do. We watch. Sidebar. I'm playing Monopoly, right? You did. We played 7 games of Monopoly, like in the course of a couple of days. I won 3, my man won 3, and one other person won 1. And it's because they're deals they offer. I'm like, yo, dude, you don't watch Shark Tank? Like your deals suck, bruh. That's why you keep losing. I got no problem making deals because I watch Shark Tank. I know how to negotiate. But that's why I'm nice at Monopoly, you dig? But it's a sideboard. We are going to stay on course. So this is just a short video, short live stream to let you know we're not going that route. We're going to stay what we do. We're going to stay talking about what we're good at. We are fact checkers. We are the fact checker committee. We are a group, a small group within a large body politic, body group, organization, body community, body family. We're a small group within that big body that fact checks information, make sure the information is correct. That's what we do. You did. And we also clarify, we elaborate more, so things might be said and it's true, but they didn't really go in depth. Other channels, what we do is we go more in depth. Yeah, we love drama. Listen, again, it's natural and normal for 2 people to argue. Nobody should be getting popcorn, right? When 2 people are arguing, why are you buying popcorn? You should just, peace, Brendan, like you should just hope that it works itself out. That's crazy, man. Like we want popcorn, we want to see blood, so we can copy and post that thing everywhere. But if you look at their lifestyles, like a lot of those folks are miserable, man. Like, you know, they live an uncomfortable life. Like where the future is dark for them. Like they don't see any like light inside the tunnel. I'm trying to tell you, when you have an optimistic lifestyle, optimistic thoughts, like you don't chase drama. Like I pride myself for being good with solutions. You dig? Like people call me and people text me, people send me links for solutions. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? It could be marital problems, sis. I had friends call me for marital problems. I'm not married, but they'll call me for marital problems. Never been married, but they'll call me for marital problems. They know I'm unbiased. My best friends, I'm not best friends with their wives. I'm best friends with them, but I have no allegiance. So when I hear the story out and he's wrong, like, dude, you were wrong. Nah, you were wrong. I ain't trying to hear none of that, and I stand firm on that. So that's why they call me, because they know I'm not going to side with them because we are supposed to be cool. No. That's not what I do. That's why I'm unbiased. It's not a fancy name. Like that's my upbringing. Like it doesn't matter how cool you are, and that person, I could hate that person. But if y'all come to me for a solution to figure out who's right and who's wrong, that person who I hate, if I feel like they're right, I'm gonna say that person was right. I tell people when they ask my opinion, I'm like, "Are you sure you want my opinion? Do I look fat? Is this dress nice? Is my hair nice? Are my nails nice?" I'd be like, "Are you sure? You want the real answer?" They'd be like, "Yeah." Like, nah, you dress ugly. I'll be straight face, no laughing, dead in their eyes. Nah, you dress ugly. I can tell you why I think so. If you want that next. No. Yeah, I thought you didn't want that smoke. Peace, cocaine. Yeah, that's what I do, man. Like I'm on the side of righteousness, and don't forget, our opinions are not always righteous, or matter of fact. Our opinions is what you can sleep with, right? So your opinion might be wrong or right. Don't know. It's an opinion. Like for example, if you ask me where do I think I'm going to be at in this time next year, I don't know. I can just give you an opinion. But you got to be honest with yourself when you give an opinion. So if you want to judge people, if you want to be judged in a matter, you got to give your best opinion, and you got to be able to sleep with that opinion. You got to make sure that opinion was genuine. whether it hurt that person's feelings or it uplifted them. You got to be satisfied with that opinion. Because one thing I never do is I never tell people. Now I might give you a harsh truth about your current condition. I might say, "Dude, you all messed up, bro. Bro, like you a bum Negro." But what I'm never going to do is tell you what you can't be in the future. I will tell you where you at right now. Like, nah, yeah, bro, you a straight bum. Or sis, listen, sis, you all messed up, man. But I will never say what you can't be in the future. I'm just saying right now, you screwed up, and the decisions you're making are horrible. You dig? Yeah, so I definitely want to just prep you guys before we go live later on about where the course, we're staying on course. We're talking about the crisis. We're talking about other relevant things inside the, the community. Don't forget there was a panel where they was talking about polygamy. They did whether we should to practice it or maybe it's bad for the community. We can talk about that. Peace, free thought. We can talk about that because you have, that's something interesting to talk about. And again, another thing is we gotta stop doing is when we have a discussion that's opinion based, like stop trying to force your opinion on people. It's your opinion. You're either for polygamy or you're against it. Now give your reasons why you're for and against, and that's it. Don't try to force your way of thinking on somebody else. Nah, just give them, the reasons why you're against it or for it. Strong opinions. Fact, it could be fact based, evidence based, whatever. And just make it very clear that they're not confusing like your argument or your points. Make it very clear. And then once it's crystal clear, leave it right there. Leave it right there. Don't sit there and try to argue any further because at that point you're being religious. At that point, when I say religious, you're trying to force your way of thinking on somebody else. See, I call that being religious. Now, if there's something factual, so we're talking about absolute facts. If somebody's saying water is iron mixed, iron and some aluminum mixed together, and you're saying nah, it's H2O. Now you can be like more adamant because you're absolutely right. So now you can be more forced. You can be more force feeding with that. That's actual real news. That's a real fact. But when it's opinion based, right? They be thinking opinions are facts, and that's why, like we have a lot of controversial things going on in our communities. Like for example, when we deal with what is our problem as a people. When we have a show like that, it's going to be heavily opinion based. You dig? But we got to be careful not to force our opinion. Don't forget, we're trying to address the problems that's affecting us, and we're probably all going to be right. So it will have to narrow down to what is our biggest problem, and then that's when you're going to hear the religious folks come out trying to force their belief on why we're messed up is our biggest problem on each other. And then that's when the arguments come and the beefing. Nah, just when it should go. Another thing I've been noticing with my panel is that like we get into too many one-on-ones. It's like, dude, sis, be comfortable in your thoughts. You dig? What I mean by that? I mean that say what you gotta say. If another person opposes that, relax. If you truly believe in what you said, you should be comfortable to hear something controversial or some adverse, thoughts. Like when people gotta respond back right away, in my opinion, okay, this is not fact. In my opinion, I believe that person's not comfortable in their own thoughts. That's cool. Peace, high school. So even I was guilty. I was guilty on my last live. I was talking about some things. Haskell gave his opinion that was contrary to mine, and I got emotional. And then guess what? But the next day, that didn't sit right with me. I said, dang, man, he gave an opinion and I got offended. You know, I gave an opinion, he gave an opinion, and I got offended. So I was like, damn, man. So Haskell, my bad, bro. Like that really didn't sit well with me the next day. Like I was like, damn, man, like I'm bugging. I'm bugging. Yeah. So again, bro, give your opinions. Yo, none of us should feel like we got to conform to another person's, ideas. Like we should freely speak and say, you know what, nah, nah, I don't think that way, and you should be able to go ahead and explain why, and that should be it. And if I don't get it or we don't get it, you should be allowed to further clarify, further make it crystal clear. What the watcher says, we should further still man our points. So now it's clear. Like this, listen, this is why I don't agree with that. I'm just putting it out there. Now you don't have to agree with why I disagree, but I'm just putting it out there for for the record. This is why I disagree. He said my girlfriend side coming out. Nah, you know what? All of us got. Well, I would say all of us. Trying to lump y'all in, but some of us could get explosive. Some of us are not explosive. Like you know what I mean. Some of us are just not explosive people. Like I never heard Haskell get explosive. I never heard Melvin get explosive. I'm not saying that it's not in them. I just never heard it. I never heard who else? Who else be coming on? I'm trying to think about Sosa. Did I? Yeah, I don't think if anything, Sosa was probably mild or temperate. I never heard him like get too crazy. And I'm not saying getting crazy is a bad thing. Right. So some of us are stronger than others in other areas. You guys might be stronger than me in conversation. Keeping you cool in conversations, right? You guys might be more stronger than me in that right there. But I might be more stronger than you in direct confrontation, like where you might be swinging faster than me in a confrontational discussion in real life, in person to person. You guys might be more quick to swing, and I might be more quick to like talk it out to see like let's not take it there. So just because I'm explosive, sometimes with or on the live doesn't mean I'm like that in real life. Because I'm actually more now. I am explosive in real life, but I'm not like once you know somebody, you'll know that this person's not gonna swing. But the person who's not explosive like that, that person will probably swing on you in real life. Yeah, it takes practice, and another thing is like we gotta admit our faults. Like we gotta admit where we're weak at. See, and we gotta admit when we're actually wrong. That's another issue. When we are wrong, it's hard for us. And I don't know about other races. I'm black, and I live around black folks my entire life. I know that we have a hard time with saying, "You got it. I was wrong." We have a hard, and you heard it on our show. You heard it on Unk's show. People just be wrong, and they just would not say, "You got it." And be everybody like, "Yo, you are wrong, bro. You are wrong, sis," and we'll keep going. You look at some of the discussions on Sarnetta TV when guys be on there, they be dead wrong. And Sarnetta got to remind them, like, yo, it's okay to say you are wrong. Dudes just won't do it. Nah, see what I'm saying though? Like, damn, dude, god damn. I got a friend like that. I got a friend who will not admit when he's wrong ever. It's always everybody's fault. It's always everybody's fault. All of his problems. So of course he's struggling in real life because when you delude yourself like that, like it's hard to like be a winner. That's like being a sore loser. Like I don't like losing. I'm very competitive, but when I see it's a wrap, I'm like, hey, you got it. You dig? I'm mad as hell though. But I'm like, yeah, you got it. I play basketball, I bowl, I play chess. I do a lot of things where there's a lot of losing involved, and I don't like losing, but I can accept the loss because I like try hard to come back. I practice, I practice a lot. So even with like this research stuff, if I have a discussion and somebody had more information on me, that day, you best believe I'm gonna be up all night and day researching to get you back. Yeah, so people always putting blames on other people. Those people like that are never successful. They are. I'm gonna say they are hardly successful. The people who can't take ownership. And I find that when we have discussions of black people's problem, we can read about other people's influence on putting us in a hole. We got that. That's taught in schools. You did. That's taught in the civil rights movement. Like, so we understand that there's an outside system or force. There's an inside system, an outside system that's you know gearing us towards unsuccess or a whole bunch of unfortunate things. We got that. Okay, cool. That's a given. Now we have to do is we have to talk to each other, see how we are contributing to that outside inside force that's causing us to spiral, towards nothing. So we got to say, well, how are we contributing to that? Are we bucking against that? Or are we actually contributing to that? And from my experience, we have a hard time taking ownership. So that goes back to the debate with Polite and Sarasut and Seti. The debate was, is the white man the devil or are we our own worst enemy? So Sarasut and Seti took the position the white man's the devil, and Polite took the position we are our own worst enemy. Like that's a very interesting debate, even though both went off topic like so many different times. But I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to edit that down and just keep the parts where they both were on topic, because you will see facts was on both sides. Even when Dr. Maya and Pastor Bennett had debated have we progressed, since slavery. Again, you will see good points on both sides. You did. They didn't stick to it. Unfortunately, the topic wasn't, the center of the debate. Like they didn't stick to it. But had they, but nevertheless, good information was given on both sides. So, but Polite took the position that we are our own worst enemy, and he pointed out how we contribute to the evils that's happening to us, and we hate to admit that. Peace, indigenous black man. We hate to admit that. Peace, Sarah Osiris. We hate to admit that we contribute to our own demise. Like, and I start calling that, I call that blackology, but some people, Dr. Yaya might have a more professional diagnosis on that. You dig? But yeah, it's hard to tell certain black people who can look outside the door, see the evils that blacks are doing to each other. It's hard to have us ignore what's outside our door to look across the damn state or the city to see this invisible force affecting us. Like, dude, you trying to show me an invisible hand, which is there. It is there. But dude, which one is easier to see? An invisible hand or a visible hand? The visible hand, yes, is out there somewhere. But the visible hand is in here with us. So when we see us, come on, like the drug selling, the killing, now there's no such thing as like black on black crime by itself. We know there's a white on white crime, there's a Hispanic crime, Asian crime, black on white crime, white on black crime, Hispanic on black crime. It all depends where you live at. Like the people confined within each other are going to beef with each other. Like that's where the most problems going to happen. Just period. Just like a black dude living in a white community, most likely is going to have a white girlfriend or boyfriend, if it's a girl or boy. Vice versa, a white person living in a black community is most likely going to have a black, a Chinese person living in a Hispanic community is most likely going to have a Spanish girlfriend or boyfriend. Like that's just what it is. So that's why people can't just say black on black crime. Peace, Khalid. Peace, B Money. Right. Nation of Islam on Islam crime. More and more crime, you did. Blood, that's why you good point, Khalid. That's why, like when I was growing up, I didn't understand how Bloods can be for Bloods. I'm thinking like Bloods and Crips beef. But there you go. They're confined within each other's, space, and they end up beefing with each other. You have racial supremacist groups beefing with each other. You dig? Then you have politicians beefing with each other. Then you have Democrats and Democrats beefing with each other. Then you have Republicans beefing with each other. Like that's just what's going to happen. And we cannot ignore that. That's a real reality. Yeah, Indigenous said, "Call you onto your face, be set behind your back." Right, right. So guess what, Indigenous? What's going to hurt when they call you the N word in your face or behind your back? Of course, in your face. So the thing that's in our face is going to bother us, trouble us, offend us more, affect us more than the things behind our back. That hidden hand y'all talk about, that's behind our back. But that visible hand, that's in our face, and that's us. That's us, man. Now we could talk about the reasons why. You dig? We could do that. But listen, my best advice I give to my friends and family and strangers when I build, I'm like, yo, sometimes the in-between doesn't matter. Sometimes it's all about the conclusion. You dig? If your significant other cheat on you, lie to you, do whatever. Sometimes that in-between stuff, it might make sense when they explain what happened. What happened was, but at the end of the day, it's the bottom line. And that's the best advice I could give people. Like, listen, bro, I understand you're late to pick me up. I understand you didn't pay me on time. And I'm pretty sure you got a great excuse. You did. You had to save 10 puppies in a burning building. Okay. But the bottom line is that I'm late for work. And my boss ain't trying to hit none of that stupid, you know what I mean? That's the bottom line. The bottom line is, bro, you're here late. So I got to cancel this contract. I got to cut you off. I'm sorry. That's just life. Indigenous black man, the racist power, that Dr. Claude Anderson thing, I was saying at one point. But again, to me, that's just semantics. The power of being racist. I don't know about all that. All I do know is that we are definitely in each other's way. We're contributing to the invisible hand. You did. We are definitely on, a lot of us, indirectly or directly, are helping that invisible hand, you did, hold us back. You got it's like a curse to be successful in amongst your people. It's a curse. Like you become the number one target for ill happenings. It's a curse to like do good. You become the number one target. Like people should look at you like, let's say if give me a name. Let's say if Nick Cannon moved to the inner cities. Like he should be looked up as like the bar towards success. And forget about entertainers. Let's talk about the doctor let's talk about the doctor who's leading the research on vaccination. She should be the example, the bar for like black people, period, and definitely black women. Okay. What about black men who are great? Obama. I'm just throwing out random names. Obama should be the bar for black men. Okay. You can talk about his presidency all you want, and you might have some great points. But look at his upbringing. Look at his schooling. That's unquestionable. The dude was a genius. He has an immaculate background. So maybe he was upset at what he did when he was president. Okay, you're entitled to your opinion. But what you cannot deny is his resume when he got there. His resume, like, it cooked everybody. Like, I mean, I'm not sure what president could have beat him out. His resume was cooked. So forget about what they want to do in their life. You know what I mean? That's a personal decision. He could have been a surgeon if he wanted to. He could have been something else. He could have stayed in, whatever, lawyer. But the thing, so we don't care about where they end up. He could have been on crack. That part we just omit. Like, all right, I want that background, but I don't want to be a president. I want that background, but I don't want to be a surgeon. I want that background, but I don't want to be a crackhead. You dig? I'm just saying, like, his upbringing, his schooling was definitely a standard for us. And that's just one out of many. You could say, if you want to be a boxer, like Floyd Mayweather, not the antics outside the ring. You dig? I'm saying his effort, his work ethic inside the ring should be a standard for boxers. He was against cheating and drug use, even drinking. He was like hard work, dedication, training. His motto was, I train when my opponents sleep. So he was like, I'm going to work harder than you. We could look at Jay-Z, if you want to be a rapper, you dig? Or beyond, the people who put the hard work necessary to establish a successful career. We want to look at people like that as a standard. If you want to be a pianist, look at some pianists out there who put in the work to be successful. Like, that should be the bar. Yeah, the titles definitely hold us back. You dig? Like, everybody want to be great, but we also got to respect the expertise. So although the self-proclaimed titles are a hindrance, but we got to respect the experts in our communities, in our society. So when I'm saying the Black experts that we look up to. So if somebody's a psychologist and they're given an assessment on something, and somebody who's not a psychologist giving an assessment of something, like, we should really yield to the person who's a psychologist. We shouldn't look at them as their equal. And that's our problem. Like, we have horrible discernment. People who are qualified to speak on the subject, like a politician, then you have a non-politician talking about the subject. It's like, come on, man. Like, really, you got no experience, but we're going to listen to you over this person with the experience? Like, come on. You got people who are in finances and they have the experience. But you got somebody who read a couple of books. Like, come on, man. Like, we got to use better discernment. Like, they're not equal. And guess what? If that person in politics or that person in finances deceive you, then drop that person and let's go with somebody who's not going to deceive us, that's in finance or politics. But, if that's our expertise, like, we got to value that more than somebody who's not an expert in that field. Like, that's where we mess up at. You got scientists, you got doctors, you got lawyers that know the law and know your chances of beating this and beating that. But we won't listen to that person. We'll listen to somebody who read a couple of law books in the Constitution and take their advice like it's equal or even superior. So B Money said, I'm biased. That's the issue, preventing a lot of Black people with good credit education from starting business in their hoods that they were raised in. Jealous. Exactly. Peace, Sister Nandy. She said, Rich Gang. Yeah, so again, man, like, we shouldn't be jealous or we shouldn't show hatred towards those who put the work in and that's now qualified to be in front of us to speak on such topics. We should, if we feel like they are wrong, we should put in the necessary same work ethics to get there and replace them or attempt to replace them. You shouldn't be on some old bum degree. You don't want to put the same work in to get where they at so you can, like, remove them. So same thing with politics. If your politician is no good or not fulfilling the promises, what you do is you get in there your damn self. You learn about the field, you become educated, and you point out their flaws and how you can do better, what you would do, and you go replace them. But you don't go on the sideline talking trash while they reign for 20 years. You dig? But that's an issue. You dig? Amongst us, we a lot of us just hate the truth. Like, we rather believe the lie. When confronted with truth, we get crazy. Again, a lot of it is laziness. Peace, Sosa. Right. So Sosa, You dig? I was saying this, like we're gonna go live later on, but we're gonna continue to talk about what we talk about. We're not gonna give light or buy popcorn to a personal problem. You dig? Like they are gonna resolve that. How many times I never beef with people and then he resolves it? You dig? Like so he clearly is not like he did like he doesn't hold grudges. He might beef with you right now, but later on he'll let it go and work with you. And that's one thing we got to say about him. Because when I didn't think he'll ever do work with Hassan or contact him. When he contacted Hassan Campbell, I said, damn, Sanetta, he's definitely, you know what I mean, on some old, he ain't holding no grudges. Because like they went at it violently. Um, yeah, so right. So look, let me say this. Let me say this. If I felt like I have a bunch of books here, right? Yeah, let me say this. Let me say this. So, guys, I don't have a problem with both sides. If a person book is not well, if they're not giving credit to other authors or they copyright infringe some things, but they felt like this information had to get out to our people, maybe they could word it a little better, maybe they could put it together a little better. I don't have a problem with that. And I also don't have a problem with folks pointing that out. So I'm just saying, I'm assuming everything is correct. Everything is true. All right. I don't know. I didn't follow. So I'm assuming everything, all the charges are true. I don't have a problem with either side. I don't have a problem with somebody putting something together that they believe is beneficial to black folks, and they might have to bend some rules. Just like I don't have a problem with credit repair. If people got to bend rules to fix your credit, I don't have a problem if you, let me say it like this. The person who's receiving that service, I don't have a problem if you don't have a problem with that. So I'll say it like that. If you don't have a problem with a service, a credit service, or any service, that they're going to bend the rules to help you out, if you don't have a problem with it, I don't have a problem with you not having a problem with it. I stay out of it. So if you want to compile a book where you got to bend some rules that you thought that this information needs to be in the hands of certain black folks at a cheaper price, or it's more information, you know what I mean? There's more information there. It could do better for you. If you find value in that, then I don't have a problem with that. I also don't have a problem with somebody pointing that out. So if somebody wants to come behind and show how this wasn't good practices, I don't have a problem with that either. So I don't got a problem on both sides. So for example, listen, I got a lot of books here. I got a lot of books on finances. You dig? I probably don't want to be a published author. You know what I mean? So hey, so if I felt like, yo, man, we got to get this information, this real estate, this stock information. I got all these books. I'm gonna just, I know you're not gonna read all these books, so let me just copy and paste them and make one big book. And I can sell it to you guys. Hey, man, if you want to buy it, buy it. But I wouldn't have a problem with people pointing it out that I didn't do it the correct way. I wouldn't even. I'll say, okay, fine, whatever. I just thought black folks needed this very urgently, and putting the time in to be published and write it myself and give my own unique thoughts was going to be time consuming, and we need this information today, right now. So you did like that's just me. That's assuming that everything is correct. That's just me. Well, I don't play both sides. I look at both sides, and that's what somebody fair would do. A fair individual will look at both sides and try to look at and try to understand both sides. So a fair person will look at both sides and try to understand both sides and see where both are coming from. Remember, I only have an opinion. I only have an opinion. I'm pretty sure you guys can say I'm biased. Why you buy that? You could invest it in this over here. You could invest in this over here. Y'all could do it to me. I could do it to you. you probably put your money in music because you love music. You probably put your money into DJ equipment and you don't make any money being a DJ. Like it's just personal hobbies. I could say, hey, bro, you could invest in this over here. You could have did this with your money. Donation, charity. You see, we could all do that. So all I try to do is look at both sides and understand both sides, and I move on. Now, if it doesn't make any sense, then I say, I'll scratch my head like, hey, what was that for? But if I understand what you're doing, I'm like, okay, okay. Well, I mean, only time will tell you if it was a good move or bad move. Only time will tell you. Yeah, so only time will tell you whether it was a good move or bad move. There's a lot of people who are successful in something that their friends and family thought was a waste of time. There are a lot of people who are horrible at something that was warned earlier from their family and friends that it'd be a waste of time. So only time will tell you whether it was a good decision or a bad decision. You dig? So only time will tell you that. Nobody really knows at that current time because we can only give our personal experiences on how people turned out. No, I ain't say turned it back, but how people didn't see our vision and they thought it was like fruitless, and we showed them that, hey, see, it did work out. In economics, it's called, well, one thing is called opportunity cost. So it's saying whatever you plan on doing, just make sure that was worth more than what you could have been doing during that time. Old trading at negative value, future trading opportunity. Yeah. Okay, chef. So you dig. So only time will tell whether a decision was correct or incorrect. You know, how about the sister who was going to college and dancing? You dig. Some of us would have opinions, but the dancing is making some money, and she is debt free of college, and now she got her degree, and now she moved on from dancing. Now she's living her career out. But those who told her that dancing was immoral or unethical, you did, but they got a $100,000 debt, in college. So who was right? She ended up graduating. You end up graduating, same career, but you have $100,000 debt. She has a debt of zero. So who was right? The dancer or the person who didn't want to dance? Who would you rather be? The person in debt, 100K, or the person with no debt? Yeah, so the time will always tell you who's right. Oh no, I ain't gonna say right or wrong because that's subjective. The time will tell you if it was worth it. Again, if I compile a book, I got a book on. I got a book on Powernomics. I got a book on the art of talking to anyone. I got a book on mutual funds, penny stocks, buying foreclosures, short-term trading. I got a book on debt management, the power book by David John, Frugal Guy. Let's say if I put all that in a book, I copy and paste all of it. Hey, Chef, I said the same thing, Chef. I said, listen, man, it's all subjective. You dig? I understand both sides. So I don't think anybody was wrong. It just like, you got to ask yourself, was it worth it to you? You did, because all your decisions will be controversial sometimes. And it will get negative feedback. But you got to ask yourself, was it worth it to you? Can you handle this? If you can, then it was a good endeavor. So I got all these books on finances, right? Now, if I decided to copy and paste and compile a book and sell it online, you did, and you guys buy it, and I sell 100,000 copies, I don't care if somebody say, hey, man, I was copy and paste. I'm like, dude, the people who purchase my shit, they're very happy. They're not complaining. You dig? They don't care. Like they just want the info. And I made, let's say, I made a quick meal. Then obviously I can live with that, and the people who purchase my book can live with it. But if I sold that book to people who found that offensive that I did it like that, then it didn't work out. You dig? It didn't work out. They want their money back. I'm going to have some problems. You dig? Copyright infringement. I'm going to be sued by these authors. So that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. That some people, and again, this is only being hypothetical. I don't know anything. I don't know the history of anything. This is just giving you different scenarios. If I was to, let's say I was to sell fake Jordans, and the people who bought the fake Jordans knew they were fake, and I made some good money, we're both happy. They was able to buy fake Jordans that look real at a super discounted price. They're happy. They stunting on Facebook. They stunting on Instagram, on Twitter, and in real life, in the club or wherever they at, stunting. And I was able to make good money. So that, to me, that was worth it. But if I'm selling fake Jordans, it doesn't matter discounted or regular price or an inflated price. If those people thought they were buying official Jordans, then yes, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, so Chef, I was going to go there next. So also some women, again, just a story. Some women who actually is going to strip for money, they probably wasn't able to mentally and emotionally handle the negative things that happens with stripping or dancing. Maybe they was never mentally able to deal with dudes groping on them, dudes giving crazy comments. So as a result, they probably got on liquor, got on drugs, and they just fell off, never graduated. You dig? So they're not guaranteed a happy end of story either. So that's why I say you got to, opportunity cost. You got to make the best decision for you, and only time will tell you whether it was successful or an unsuccess. Only time will tell you. There's some things that we all will there's some things we will all want to take back. So some moves we thought was beneficial. We took certain jobs, we took certain clients, we took certain services. A lot of us would love to take it back. But when you can't, all you can do is just try to improve. You live on and you try to avoid that mistake or improve on that mistake or do better research, find out who you're dealing with. So those are all life lessons, assuming you were not, damaged, like for real, like severely damaged. Conspiracy community on debt. Yeah, so and that's why I say I'm not getting involved in grown folks' arguments. People are grown. You're either going to work it out or you're not going to work it out. Either way, it's going to be resolved. And that's between the grown adults. If I have an issue with another grown adult, I don't want y'all to work out my problem. I'm either going to work it out where we can it's only three ways you're going to do it. Either we work it, it works out itself. We don't talk anymore. We go our different ways, or it works itself out. We're cool, or it works itself out and we're beefing. That's it. We depart mutually. We can look past it, or we're at each other. We're at odds. That's all you can do with arguments and disagreements. That's all you can do. So that's all you can do, and sometimes your decisions will bring about a reaction, a strong reaction, and you got to be willing to be able to handle that strong reaction where you don't mind that strong reaction coming towards you. Haskell, that's a great point. But Haskell, let me ask you this: what if the people that are purchasing the products don't care about none of that. They're just happy with the product. Then what? Okay, I'm at a beauty salon. You dig? I'm getting my hair done. I'm a woman. I'm getting my hair done. My hair look nice as hell, but my stylist don't have a license. Now, I might be offended because she put me at risk. She had no insurance in case something happened. So I might make a big deal out of it. Or I might say, hey, man, thank you. So how do we, you dig? That's how I look at it. So, it's all about the person you're servicing. Like, again, you might got a lawn care company, right? And you got contracts where you're servicing people's lawns. It turned out that this person don't have a registered business. So this person can mess me up and disappear, and I can't hold them liable. So I might have a problem with that. So I might not want to work with you, you know? And some people probably don't care. Like they believe it's worth the trade because you're cheaper. Yeah, you don't have, I can't, yeah, you might do me dirty where I can't hold you liable, can't sue you, can't take you to court because you don't have a LLC. You know what I mean? I don't know who you are, but it's worth it because you're half the price of somebody with all that. Or somebody might say, listen, nah, I'm not taking that risk. I want somebody with the necessary requirements to handle my lawn care. I want my stuff done right. And I want to hold somebody accountable for if they mess up or try to dip off with the, with the money. So you got to, Like that's why I don't get involved. Cincinnati. Does anybody agree with that analogy I gave? Like it all depends on like your target market. If I'm a land care service provider, if I'm going at the people who don't mind taking the risk because they rather spend half the price, then I'm probably going to be good, right, with my business. No complaints because they understand the risk. Some things might not be done right because I'm not a professional, right? Or also, with all that being said, I'm probably not going to go to certain locations soliciting my services because I believe that they are more upscale, that they're going to require documents, contract signing. So I'm not going to go there. I don't know how that's hard to follow, to understand. The same thing with the person who is legit with the proper paperwork. So guess what? They're going to want the proper money for their services. So if he tries to go after who I'm going, remember, I'm the guy with the no documents, I can't meet no requirements. I'm just a lone wolf with a couple of folks out here that you don't know, you can't hold liable to anything. But the people I'm servicing, they don't mind because the risk is worth it. I'm charging like maybe 40% less. But the person with the requirements, the license, the LC, all that type of stuff, the impressive resume, he or she will probably be unsuccessful where I'm at because they want to be paid for their services, like the correct dollar amount, the fair market value. So if they try to come where I'm at with those prices, nobody's going to be impressed by your background because my clients are more impressed with the discount. Can anybody follow that logic? Am I tripping? Am I chasing? Or does that seem like what it is? Because that's what it comes down to me. Like me personally, I pay for what I want. You dig? So if I got a plumber coming over, I'm gonna pay a plumber. I'm not paying no dude from the hood or no dude from the suburbs. You dig? I want a professional. I want somebody who went to school for this, where I can hold liable, I can take the court. I want that person. If I move, I'm not gonna get my friends and everybody. I'm gonna hire movers. That's just me. Like that's just how I roll. You did, because I had long braids before when I was younger, and all the way up to like maybe a couple of years ago. I had long braids my whole life. I always had braids, and I realized when I was younger, when I got the hood chicks to do it, and when I say hood, I mean in my area, in my city. I live in the hood. Well, you guys are called the hood, so don't get offended with the hood chick. We got hood dudes. We live in the hood. You dig? So relax. But so when I dealt with people in my hood that did my hair, you know what I mean? Like they would do half of it and do the next half 2 weeks later, a month later. So I got half my hair braided, looking like old dirty bastard. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, yo, where you at? You dig? Like, you know what I mean? Then, or she'll do half and her friend do the other half. So my cornrows are lopsided. I'm looking like, damn. So as I got older with braids, I'm like, you know what? It's not worth the risk to go around looking like that. I'd rather go to the damn salon and pay a professional to do my hair all at once right now. And that worked out better for me. But my boy decided to do my old way. And his hair was half done, box braids, uneven. You dig? He had the same problem I had. I'll do it Thursday, and then she don't do it until Monday. You gotta wait, nappy head, all that time. Nah. So I wasn't you dig? I want my stuff done when I say so, not when you say so. And this is why I don't like to give favors. I'm sorry. I do like to give favors. I don't like to get paid. So yeah, so I had it backwards. So this is why I'd rather give favors than you pay me to do something for you. Because if you pay me, I'm on your time. If it's a favor, you're on my time. Let's give you a fake number. Hello? Fake number. All right, yeah. So I would rather do a favor. So when people try to pay me for something, I wouldn't take it because I don't want to be on your time. I want to be on my time at all times. You dig? No, my hair low now. I'm just saying, like, but it was a in lieu. It was resolved. Like I figured out a way to resolve it. I said, let me just pay the professionals, where they are in the business of doing it right now when you say so. You book it. You book the appointment, and you say, I want my thing. I want my hair done at 1 o'clock. It only take 2 hours, so I should be done at 3 o'clock or somewhere around that that neighborhood. Yeah, so I don't mind Chef opinion. I don't mind Haskell's opinion because again, they have the right to require that. They have the right to pay for what they want and how they want it. They have the right to say, listen, if I buy something for you, you should be a professional. You shouldn't hide anything. You should do it the correct way. I have no problem with that. But guess what? There are some people, super cuss. Yeah, there are some people who my hair is actually my hair. Double X said he got that old European hair. Nah, not me. My hair is actually like regular black people hair. It probably works better in water than the average person, but my hair is like coarse. So hey chef, so people, like you said, some people will want things done the correct way. They want the book to be copyrighted, protected, blah 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 blah, source right, everything correct. And that's because you have a high standard of what you want to read, what you want in your house. But chef, there are some people who don't mind. They're like, yo, just give me the info. I don't care where it came from, how legit it is. I just want the info. Give it to me. You dig? So that's why for me, like there's no right or wrong. It's only wrong when you sell it to a market that wants it to be done correctly and is not. Now it's a problem. There's no way out of that. But if you sold to a market that really don't care, they want the info, then I mean, I don't see the problem in that. I just don't see the problem in that. I just don't. They got jokes on me. You dig? I mean, am I saying something incorrect or what's up? You could disagree, but do y'all feel like I'm making some sense? My iPads. I'm not. If one was down, now let's not say iPads. Let's say my computer. If my computer is down, I'm not going to mom and pop. You know that don't have a legit business. You know they do it on their time and they're probably good. Probably not. I'm going to the professionals. I want it. Damn. I want to be able to call and say, "Yo, what's up?" Okay, now give it back. Give my money back. Give my money back. Give my money back. I don't want to have somebody work on my computer that the money I'm paying them is the money they're actually using to fix the computer. So if I need my money back, it's over. It's already spent. And the other half is spent on their personal, obligations. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, okay, Chef. I mean, that's a great point. I mean, yeah, I can't argue with that, bro. I can't argue with that. So I see why. Okay, that's a great point. So I see why it can get tricky. You did. Okay, I mean, I can't argue with that, bro. So now let's say this. Okay, so since you went there, Chef, with it, I will say this. How I'm going to handle that? Okay, so I'm going to say if the accusations, if the charges are real, then yes, you will be right. In my opinion, you will be right. Yes, I get it. If it's on Amazon, it's trusted. You did. We trust everything is put together correctly. So yes, I cannot argue that. If the charges and accusations are right, and it's on Amazon, a trusted website like that, yes, the standards, like people are going to assume it's done correctly. So yes, I can rock with that. I can rock with that. Yeah, I heard you. I got you. That's what I'm trying to say. If what you're saying, if it's on Amazon and if the charges are true about the book, then yes, I can't argue. They all got a valid point. It was disingenuous and not put together correctly. Yes. I would go with that. That's like selling like barber clippers and it's not put together properly and it's on Amazon. Like we're going to trust Amazon because it has a good brand name, a trusted name. So we're going to expect the clippers to be done right. We're not going to expect some screws missing loose. But on your personal website, that can possibly happen. So I definitely get that. I get that. Okay, I mean, okay, if it, all right, so it was fixed. I mean, so now I don't know the problem now. Okay, so if it was wrong, there's nothing, okay, listen, there's nothing wrong for pointing out something that's wrong. Nobody's ever wrong for pointing out something that was done wrong or incorrectly. There's not, you always can do that. We're fact checkers here, FCC. We're the fact checking committee. So there's nothing wrong. We're supposed to highlight things that are wrong. Everybody, as a matter of fact, everybody's FCC. Every channel is FCC. If you fact check information, if you fact check books, if you fact check websites, if you fact check anything, you are FCC by default. You're part of the fact checking committee. The committee is a small group within a large body of groups that's designed specifically to deal with issues like that. We are the experts. Yeah, so if it was put on Amazon and it was fixed on Amazon where it's sourced correctly, then what's the problem now? What's the problem now? If it's actually was adjusted and fixed. Like I said, if you want to point out something that was done wrong, you're supposed to. You're supposed to highlight, yo, you have the right and you're obligated to point out things that was put together incorrectly. So the person who's finding the fault they should never be condemned. Indigenous black man says, if I cheat on my wife, she'll hit me and beat me. If I had multiple wives, they'll beat yo. Yeah, you were funny, Indigenous. So Haskell, yeah, Haskell's funny. Yeah, so again, man, I don't think the book was fixed. So he fixed the problem. The problem was addressed. Can't knock anybody for addressing the problem. The problem was fixed. Now, I guess the question would be, did the person admit to that there was a problem initially? You dig? If the person believed there was a problem and they fixed it, did they admit, yeah, things could have been done better? Because that's also important. Because we love a genuine person, a person with integrity. Yeah, Sheffrin, I agree. That's why, like, this whole autodidact stuff, like, we got to be careful because we often make mistakes. I remember Double X telling me, like, on bias, be careful, like, doing your own little pick and choose research because you're going to be flawed at some point because you are not properly guided on what to look at step by step by step. And guess what? Lo and behold, he was true. He was correct. I was messing up. So I said, okay, you know what? Okay, let me stop. Let me just purchase the necessary license stuff that's going to show me step by step by step by step on what I'm trying to research. So when I did it that way, now Double X, now he respects when I talk to him now. Like he kind of almost gave me a benefit of doubt that I'm correct because he knows that I said, okay, I'm not going to read around. I'm going to do it step by step by step. I purchased licensed information, licensed education to educational videos to guide me step by step by step by step. You dig? So there's no mistakes now when I talk about, let's say, chemistry. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes when I talk about viruses. You dig? Vaccines. Now, I'm not saying I know the entire subject. I'm just saying what I actually speak on is not going to be correct. It's going to be accurate, incorrect. Yeah, so I definitely agree that when you've been an autodidact, you just know your chances of making a mistake is heightened. It's heightened. It's there. It's there. It's definitely there. So again, man, like we can't. If there's a mistake out there, we have the right to point out the mistake. So the people who point out the mistake, they should never be like condemned. We gotta respect them. They are fact checkers. Then there's steps. Okay, now the problem was addressed. Now how are we gonna solve this problem? So according to the chef, the problem was solved. The person admitted that yeah, they didn't source it right, they didn't cite it right, and they made the necessary adjustments, and now it's back on the market, I guess. You dig? Airplane pilot. Hey, yo, y'all missed Lynn's presentation. Lynn was I'm an autodidact airplane pilot. Who wants to fly? Yo, y'all missed Lynn's presentation. Lynn went in, man. He went in on his presentation. It's my last video. Check it. I don't know how long the video was, but if you check like however long the video is, check like the last 2 hours of it. And Lynn gave a presentation. You dig? Check it out. Hey Lynn, are you satisfied with your presentation? Do you feel like you could have did better, or you feel like it was good enough? Yo, so look, I didn't even watch. I'm watching this Ned and brother Reggie video now. Yeah, I'm watching that video now. I'm looking at the issues Ned had. I'm going to watch Kansu's later. It's only an hour. I'm going to watch that at some point. And I just want to catch up and see what's going on. But I probably won't re-air it because I don't want to be involved in that. On my personal time, I'm going to just watch it and catch up to speed. Yeah, so a lot been going down, man. A lot been going down. And all I'm going to say is this. This is a valuable lesson to all of us. If you say something, you should be willing to face the repercussions, the consequences. And if you can deal with the consequences, then it was worth what you said. If you cannot deal with the consequences, then you probably shouldn't say it. You dig? Because people are gonna have that smoke for you. And you also gotta pick, okay, let's say he's satisfied with his presentation. Slide that link. Oh, no. Hey, I'm gonna go live later on Haskell where we all gonna talk. But listen, I don't want to talk about this too much because I don't want to add into, you know what I mean? I don't want to be involved in any beefs. I don't want anybody making videos about us. You dig? Yes, I'm not really into that. Because if you give an opinion, don't forget your opinion is either gonna be for or against somebody. So I don't want, and then like you guys on my channel, so you guys can reflect me. So if you say something incorrect or something that people are going to be high disagree with, then they're going to look at my channel as promoting that. And I don't want to be involved in any of this war. There's just a lot of stuff going on out there, a lot of wars and stuff. And we're just watching from the sideline. Meanwhile, we're still doing what we do. Dr. Boykins, okay. Right, Brendan, that's a great point. I always say this, like I heard Curtis Call say he studied something for 25 years. I'm like, dude, that long? Why didn't you get a degree? Why didn't you get a certification? Why would you waste that much time doing something and you're not seen as an expert in it? Just self-proclaims. Like, so when people say that, when people say, I've been doing this for 15, 20 years, and when you're not credentialed, I'm like, dude, you wasted your life, bro. Oh, nah, we're not talking. Nah, I have something we're gonna talk about. And what's the theme? The theme is misinformation deliberately spewed in order to further an agenda. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. If y'all want to talk about the beef, there's other channels. I'm pretty sure they're going in. Check them channels out, and let me know how that goes. But we are going to talk about misinformation given deliberately to further personal agendas, and that's one of our problems in the community. Indigenous, he said we got to buy oil, take advantage of low ass market. Kizzy Kente. Yeah, we could talk about that. Haskell. That's something good to talk about because that's relevant. That's what's going on right now. Like, look, this whole beef thing wasn't really supposed to be blown out of proportion. Like, listen, this was going on for a while. It wasn't in the light. Like most of us knew about some of this stuff already, but it just wasn't given a big stage. So now it's given a big stage. You look at it and you look at the information and you judge for yourself. Is it correct or is it not? And then you just move on. You dig? Or if you want to talk about it to the actual individual, you can talk about it to them and you can have them explain what you believe to be good arguments against them. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Sosa, don't you give Mandy your address. She will pull up. You dig? Mandy will pull up. So you better be careful, bro. Mandy is no joke. She is not bluffing. She will pull up. And she ain't gonna be smiling at you either. She's gonna pull up with straight beef gloves on. And her Black Panther outfit, bro, you don't want that smoke. Don't you give her your address. Do not call her bluff. Mandy wants all the smoke. Yeah, so now during a late hour, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, y'all can talk about whatever y'all want. You know, right? Around the 2 o'clock a.m. thing, y'all can discuss whatever y'all want. Because I'm gonna be asleep for a fact. Like I've been sleeping earlier and earlier nowadays. Man, I've been waking up. That's why I haven't been live in the morning. I've been waking up 11, 12 o'clock. And another fake number calling me. Yeah, I've been waking up so late, man. Yo, Sosa gonna give Nandy the address, and then y'all be like, "Yo, you heard what happened to Sosa?" Like, nah, what happened? And Nandy popped him 6 times, yo. That nigga in a coma. Yo, Nanny been dying to put in work with somebody. Don't be that name, Sosa. Nanny dying to put work with somebody. Don't be that name. She put working on. We need sisters like Nanny, you know. Nanny she's straight front line. Yeah, Dr. Khalid Muhammad says somebody got to hold the line, right? In his enough no more Negro stuff lecture, he says somebody got to hold the line. And Nandy, we choose you. You're gonna hold down the line, sis. Front line. You dig? We got quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, field goal kickers. But Nandy, you are on the offensive line. And you're on defense. You're on the offensive line and the defensive line. You're on both lines. You're gonna hold the line down. Okay, let me see. Let me make sure I mix up my schedule. My laptop. Let me make sure I mix up my. Sometimes I be double booking people and they be killing me, man. I'm getting some texts now. People texting me, telling me what time they're ready. I'm like, oh, I think I gave some else that number. I have my number. Peace, Bujawa. Yeah, so I was basically saying that I don't. I'm like catching up to what's going on, and I'm like hearing things, and I don't have an opinion on it at all. You did. Like this is, I don't know what's going on, and I'm going to reserve any opinion, any opinion that I might have. I only hear what I heard, so I'm giving like just like both sides can have a valid point. But I am going live at 7 o'clock. You dig? So I was basically saying that we are going to not get involved of any arguments or any disputes that adults can handle their own problems. We don't have to add the flames, add the drama, bring the popcorn. We're going to continue on what we normally talk about, which is viruses, vaccines, and other things. We have open topic a lot. So I'm saying that we are going to bow out of adding to the flames. And especially if you guys already hash it out, or you guys might not even see it that big of a deal. I was pointing out that some of us can argue and be contentious at one moment, but then let it go the next day. Like me and Amber be getting into it, and then it'd be over like the next day. Well, for me it do, and for her, I believe also. I might get into it with Sosa, but me and Sosa is over probably that same live. Me and Zen can get a little chippy, and then guess what? It's over that live or the next live. So, that's why I don't get involved with people, discussion disagreements, because they probably don't even look at that serious, and we're making it bigger than what it is. Okay, let me see if I double book anybody. Okay. So they're not double booked. Yeah. So, what I mean? So I'm basically letting my subscribers know that I don't really want to talk about that. Now, so we're gonna talk about, what we normally talk about. I have a lot of information on I have a lot of correct information on the misinformation on this crisis. So I want to keep hammering that down. I think we should know this stuff. You dig? Like we should all know this stuff. So I'm trying to hammer it in where we at least know the basics of vaccinations, of viruses, pandemics, epidemics, right? Just know the basics. We ain't got to be experts in that. We just know the basics, so nobody can fool us with fake news. I want to talk about how people have personal agendas to push certain ideologies, and they deliberately provide misinformation. So they'll say the Tuskegee experiment involved Black men being injected with syphilis. Now, we know that that's a popular rumor, that's popular fake news. So when people quote that, we don't really hold them accountable. We just educate them and say, no, sister, no, brother, that's not what happened. But other people know better. And they're saying that to further in another agenda. You did? They're using that to push another agenda that they're married to. I want to address that. And then you got other people who are also flip-flopping nowadays. They believe that the enemy was the devil. I'm sorry. They believe the enemy was not the devil. They originally believed that we were our own worst enemy. But to push their agenda nowadays, they're now saying that the enemy is the devil. I'm like, oh my God, dude, y'all just flip-flop. Like, my God, y'all flip-flop. And look, we can change our minds, we can change opinions. I get that. But this person gave like a 3-hour presentation on how we are our own worst enemy, and there is no enemy called the devil. So, Wujawu, we're gonna let you address these people that are opinionated on the live, probably around like 12 o'clock. You dig? So everybody won't have that energy. So everybody be kind of tired and sleepy, where they just, they are more passive. So about 12 o'clock, around that time, You did. If y'all want to get into that, y'all go ahead. I'll go on mute and I'll do my studies. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so y'all can discuss that in a respectful manner. So the new word is bloviate. You dig? I like that word. So we'll talk about things in a respectful manner. Nobody's gonna bloviate. Let's get right to the point. Let's make it crystal clear. If the person is confused, then the person is allowed to be more clear. So if the person is explaining their point and the other person doesn't still get it, then that person is allowed to make it clearer. You dig? But at some point, we're going to stop that. Because if they're clear as they can be and the person still don't get it, that's just it. They just don't get it. You can't do anything with that. You dig? So yeah, so we're gonna tackle some things. For me, I explained earlier. If I'm gonna have somebody do the plumbing in my crib, I'm going to hire an expert, somebody with credentials, that's a licensed plumber. If I'm getting a haircut, I probably don't care if they got a license or not. You dig? As long as they can cut, and I'm convinced they can cut, I'm probably not going to care whether they are licensed or not. If I'm buying a book that I believe that's informational to me, I'm most likely not going to care if it's properly sourced or not. That's just me. If I feel like the information in the book can benefit me and help expand my education, I'm most likely not going to care whether it's sourced or not. I'm probably not even going to care if it got pages on it. If I believe the information is accurate and it can help further my education on that given subject, me personally, I'm probably not going to care about the rules and guidelines to a book being put together. That's just me. Okay. You guys are entitled to have different requirements. If I'm getting my lawn service, I'm probably not going to care if they have an LLC. Okay. I'm not going to probably care if they are a legit business or company. I'm probably not going to care. So it all depends on how I'm being serviced. If I'm being tutored or something, yes, I'm going to be credentialed. You dig? I'm saying, like, if I needed help with chemistry, or if I needed help with, let's say, not Spanish, so it's not everything. If it's Spanish, you don't need to be a teacher to teach me Spanish. So you see, it depends on what I need. My requirements can vary. If you're teaching me Spanish, you don't have to be a Spanish teacher or tutor. Just know how to speak Spanish. You dig? And that's it, fluently. But if you're teaching me math, like calculus, yes, you're gonna have to show me that you either are a teacher or you have, you are competent and you know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna need some classes you took and you did well in calculus. So it all depends on what I need you for, whether I might require the proper credentials and requirements or not. So it all depends. I'm not going to need you to be a licensed masseuse to give me a massage. If you're working in my car, most likely I'm going to take it to the shop, like the actual dealership. Sometimes I might just go to a normal shop in the hood. It all depends what I need. So again, it all varies. It all varies. It all varies. It all varies. So it all varies. So I'm glad Sophie asked that question. Do I trust the government? This government has been, so let me make this very clear for Bridget and whoever else. This government has not treated Black folks well in this country, historically and in present time. All right. Not just the government, like let's just say people that's non-Black has not treated us fairly. So if there's an article about we're not getting the proper pain medications in hospitals like our counterparts, I will probably believe that. You dig? If I hear, I don't even need the facts. If I hear that we are being redlined, you dig, or being discriminated for jobs, I'm probably am inclined to believe that. I don't need facts. Okay. It doesn't mean it's the truth, by the way, is that I will favor that. So I will go into that study like, okay, this is probably true. If you told me that to some degree there's a world agenda against black folks, I mean, of course, going into it, I'm gonna be like, okay, that's definitely likely. You did. Now I just need the facts to check out. So I'm gonna favor you guys when you say that the black folks are being harmed in some type of way. I'm gonna favor that information as facts. Or not facts, but I'm going to favor it as is most likely. I'm going to then need the facts to corroborate, to coincide that charge, those charges. When I don't see the facts lining up with it, that's when I back away. So when we talked about the Georgia thing, the voting suppression, when we looked into that, I did not see what I was told. And we can talk about that again. Like, I did not see what I was told. I seen some folks who are being irresponsible, and they want somebody to hook them up to look the other way and like, yeah, pass me through because I forgot my license. No. If rules are put in place to stop people from doing that, because it appears that some folks, some races were letting their own race through and holding other people to the requirements. Okay. So the rules were put in place to stop that. Civil rights and all that type of stuff was put in place to stop that. Letting your homies go, but holding other people to the rules. So if that's being done, that's wrong. But also, if you are asking people to look you out, that's wrong too. You gotta meet the proper requirements. Period. Don't give people a chance to use discernment. You did. For the most part, when you're pulled over, a police officer has, discern. Okay, he can decide whether this is worthy of ticket or not. What I'm saying is, don't put that officer in that position to decide whether you get a ticket or not, assuming you actually violated the law. Now, if the officer pull you over and you did nothing wrong and you get a ticket, that's just wrong. Excessive force. Me and Chef and Double X talk about that. That's just wrong. It's period. It's wrong. But if you fought back, if you resisted arrest, okay, now you put the officer in a position to get aggressive with you, like over, you know what I mean? Excessive force is wrong, period. But I'm trying to say is, if you put the officer in a jam where he had to defend for his life, then you dig, that's what it is. But racial discrimination, racial profiling is all wrong. But my point is, if you did something that violated the law, if you didn't have the right requirements for something, don't ask for a handout. Don't ask for a pass. That's wrong too. Okay. So let me read. I'm biased, getting rubbed down from me. But yeah, so you dig, I'm not anti-government. You dig? I won't let's say I'm pro-government either. I'm just out here looking at what's right and what's wrong. And I'm gonna call it out. If it's wrong, I'm gonna call it out. If it's right, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna confirm it. I'm gonna side with it. So I'm pro what's right. So if you're showing me that somebody's being racial towards you, just have the information correctly. Don't tell me where it's like, well, I don't know, that's 50-50. Don't give me that. Give me something conclusive. You did. That's all I'm trying to say. Because sometimes we just jump the gun, and you did, and we ain't with that. We ain't with that. Like you can't play the race card either way. Either way. Just make sure the facts line up with your actual accusations. That's all. So Minister Inky had a good good live, I think a day or two ago, where they were addressing whether a virus is alive or dead. He read off the definitions, the correct definitions, and I believe he still disagreed because there's a gray area where scientists are saying virus is alive because once they attach to the host cell, they come alive, something like that. So like scientists argue. So when people say virus is alive and they use those arguments, I mean, like you really can't really argue that. Like some scientists are pushing that as alive, but there are a standard requirement for living things, and one of them are you able to live on your own? You don't need another living entity to live, and viruses don't fall under that. And another one is, are you able to produce energy? A virus doesn't fit that requirement. So you did like so. I think Inky was on the side of they're still alive in spite of that. Divine Prospect said they were alive, so they're going with the counter argument from scientists, and that's okay. At least as long as they're not making up their own reasons why. You dig? It's okay. It makes it a good talking. It makes it a good subject to talk about. Right, V Child. Some say they are alive, and I'm not going to argue with anybody who takes the scientific argument that they are alive. Right? I'm not going to argue with anybody who takes that side because they have their reasons for why that they're alive. I'm not going to argue that at all. But if you ask me, I'm going to say no, and I'm going to give the reasons why, the scientific reason why they are not alive. You did, and we can move on from there. It's no need to go back and forth. Now, if you make up your own reasons for why they're not alive or alive, I have a problem with that. Okay, I have a problem with that. If you make up your own argument, that's when I'm going to become FCC at that point. Where I'm going to debate with you. Like, what the hell? What's going on here? And that's what's going on right there. Right. So the consensus. So I'm going with the consensus and their requirements, their criteria all day long. Rob Bourne gave the best analogy. If anybody's up that late, in his book, he gave the best analogy for why they're not alive. He compared it to something, and I'll wait till he comes on the live and he can explain that. I don't want to steal his. Like it was so dope. Double X was trying to share with me how they're alive. I cut him off and I gave the Rob Bourne analogy, and he quickly agreed. Like he quickly conceded. Like yeah. That's fire. So Rob Bourne, the analogy he had from his science book, I believe we're all going to adopt that one. So if he comes on tonight, I'll let him go into that from his book, and it's a dope analogy. If he does not come on tonight, then I gotta steal it. Okay, so let me read some of this. Some scientists. Yeah. So I'm not going to argue anybody who's giving a legit scientific opinion. Peace, Amber. I'm not going to argue too much. Now, if it's a stretch, or some scientists have an agenda, and we found that agenda, I'm going to discredit that research. Yeah, that's going to be gone. Also, we're going to talk about Andrew Wakefield. The father. It's time that you guys know who he is. He's the father of this modern anti-vax movement. And I think when you hear his story, and then you see the people who are anti-vax and they mention him as like their savior, like then you're going to see that there's an agenda. Because if you're anti-vax, cool, no problem. But if you're referencing people who had an agenda this whole while, who was caught, found guilty, license taken from them, journal retracted, and when you see that they were corrupt, and if anybody use that person as a reference point, you know that they are you ain't worth the conversation. You did. So the analogy that Rob Bourne gave from his scientific book, yo man, it's dope. So scientists say that viruses are in between the alive, the biological alive, and the chemical or not inert, inanimate. Um, they're in between. They're in a gray area. So that's gonna be an interesting subject to talk about. It asks, is DNA RNA alive? Right. So yeah. Right. It's you know what? I need somebody got to post a link of a scientist explaining why a virus is alive. And I don't want no quack. I don't want anybody who's in a quack conversation. Post a legit scientist that had no. He's not an anti-vaxxer. He's not a flat earther. Give me a legit, credible scientist that's arguing for viruses alive. I want to hear what they have to say. Because I'm going to tell you right now that you're not going to be in any class and learn that viruses are alive. All right, you're not going to be in any class, any legit credible class, and be taught that viruses are alive. So I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get that. In all your biology books, your microbiology books, you're going to see in your microbiology classes, they're all going to teach that viruses are not alive. And you can't argue that. So the consensus is what it is. They say that there's not enough scientists. They got a few out there who's pushing back, but it's not enough. There's not enough to overturn the consensus. Most scientists are saying, nah, we have enough reasons to conclude that they are not alive. Okay. What about Mr. Muhammad? What about Mr. Muhammad? But anyway, so I gotta get ready for my classes. I gotta send this link out. Weezy out of here. We're gonna get back on here about 7:30, and we're gonna talk about this right here. We're gonna make it short and quick. I'm not gonna bore y'all to death because I know y'all want Ujawu to be on a hot seat. So Ujawu is all and willing to be in a hot seat. So just be respectful. Remember, he's being interviewed by you guys. He's being interrogated. So let him talk. You're asking the questions, let them talk. If you're not asking questions, then you talk. If you're making a point or proving a point, making a case, then you talk. So y'all gotta let you talk. But if you're asking him a question for clarity or you think something is up, you gotta let him talk. You gotta let him go in. And we can't let you go too long. If we felt like the point was made, then we gotta stop you. Okay, because we don't want to bloviate. Because sometimes people bloviate so that there's never a second question. So, but I appreciate Mujaba because he never runs from anything controversial, and so it's better to get it from the source. Yeah. So now we can talk about it now because he's probably going to be involved in the discussion. I didn't want to talk about it if he's not going to be involved. Yeah, so look, we are going to make sure that the question is not too long, the argument against is not too long, and we're going to make sure that Ujah will try to get to the meat of the crux as soon as possible. Remember, science says make things simple, but not simpler. So we want to get it right there. Explain. For me, I don't care. All right, I don't care. You did at all. I don't care if it's for me, it is what it is. but other people seem to care. And Mujaro don't want his name to be in the bad light, so I'm pretty sure he wants to talk to people. So there we go. There we go. You did. You know, I like Mujaro. I think he's a cool dude. So we're gonna get it in. So I'm out of here, bro. Let me send this link to my class, to my students, and I'll be back 7:30 or 7:30-ish, and we'll get it in. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We are Weezy out of here. Y'all out of here. Again, just be respectful to everybody. That's all.